The sea off the coast of Maine is a restless, giant, vast, cold, and merciless. Its waves rise and collapse like rolling mountains, crashing against the rocky shoreline, with a sound that can be felt in the chest. Here, the wind cuts sharper than glass, and the air smells of salt, fuel, and fear. Every year, hundreds of fishermen steer their boats straight into these waters. They are not chasing fortune in gold or oil, but something far stranger: the giant Maine lobster. For them, this creature represents everything: survival, legacy, and pride. The ocean is their history, and they belong to it as much as it belongs to them. Before dawn, when the harbors are still shrouded in fog, lights flicker on across the docks, engines roar awake, and the quiet world fills with the groan of diesel, the slap of waves, and the scrape of metal traps sliding across decks. Each fisherman knows his task by heart. They work in silence, their breath visible in the freezing air. Traps are baited with herring or mackerel, their scent heavy and strong enough to cling to the skin for days. Each one is lowered onto the deck with care, 70 pounds of wood, wire, and hope. When the last trap is ready, the captain gives a nod. The boat drifts from the dock, joining a slow parade toward the open horizon. Behind them, the lights of Maine's coastline fade, until there is nothing left but gray sky and endless water. Out here, sound replaces sight. The rhythm of the engine, the crackle of the radio, and the hiss of ropes slicing through the salt air become a language of their own. Every man knows the risks. A wrong step, a tangled line, a moment's distraction can mean death. The traps go overboard one by one. The rope uncoils with a hiss, disappearing into the dark water below. Each buoy that bobs to the surface bears family colors: red and white, green and black, blue and yellow. They mark ownership, history, and the silent boundaries that divide generations of fishermen. Below, the world is a different kind of silence. Cold, dark, and slow. Lobsters crawl between rocks, their shells armored, their claws powerful enough to crush bone. Some weigh over 40 pounds and have lived for decades. They know nothing of the humans above, only the faint vibration of the traps settling near their dens. Once the final trap sinks, the fishermen head home. They'll return tomorrow to see what fortune the ocean offers. Patience here is more valuable than strength. The sea gives only to those who endure it. The next morning, the horizon glows silver. The men return to the same buoys, scanning the waves. For color patterns, only they recognize. The winch groans as the rope rises, slick and heavy. Salt spray strikes their faces. Freezing instantly on their skin. Then the first trap breaks the surface. Sometimes there is nothing inside but empty shells and seaweed. Sometimes a crab or eel rides among the bait. But when a lobster's dark claw appears, the mood changes. The men cheer quietly, almost reverently. Another piece of the ocean's wealth has surfaced. Each lobster is measured and inspected. Too small, it goes back, carrying eggs back again. Every rule matters. Taking too much today means losing everything tomorrow. Even on calm days, danger never leaves the deck. A single rope caught around a boot can drag a man overboard. The water below is near freezing. A fall here is a death sentence. The body goes numb in less than 2 minutes. Freezing instantly on their skin, then the first trap breaks the surface. Sometimes there is nothing inside but empty shells and seaweed. Sometimes a crab or eel writhes among the bait. But when a lobster's dark claw appears, the mood changes. The men cheer quietly, almost reverently. Another piece of the ocean's wealth has surfaced. Each lobster is measured and inspected. Too small, it goes back, carrying eggs back again. Every rule matters. Taking too much today means losing everything tomorrow. Even on calm days, danger never leaves the deck. A single rope caught around a boot can drag a man overboard. The water below is near freezing. A fall here is a death sentence. The body goes numb in less than 2 minutes. And yet, they keep going, because this is their life, their heritage, their test of endurance. They do not defy the sea, they work with it. Every drop of sweat, every breath of cold air is part of the same bargain they've made for generations. The sea never stays calm for long. By midday, clouds roll in from the North Atlantic, heavy, dark, and endless. The air thickens with moisture, and the wind begins to howl through the rigging. The captain senses what's coming. Before anyone says a word, he's seen this 100 times. The ocean is shifting. The sky turns white with spray. Rain lashes across their faces, and visibility vanishes into gray chaos. The boat heaves and groans. As if trying to tear itself apart, ropes snap, metal clangs, and water floods across the deck. Every man holds on for his life. There's no time to think, only to react. The captain's voice cuts through the storm, commanding over the roar. For a few endless minutes, they are at the mercy of nature itself, and then, as quickly as it began, the fury fades, the waves ease, and silence returns heavy and strange. The men look at each other, no one speaks. The sea has reminded them once again who is in charge. They survived this time, but everyone knows the cost. Too many others haven't come back. They resume their work in silence, hands swollen, backs aching, faces burned by salt and wind. Every movement is slower now, more cautious. When they finally spot a buoy rocking in the waves, it feels like a small victory. The rope tightens, the winch hums, and a new trap rises from the deep. The water drips away, revealing movement inside. A large lobster thrashes against the wire, its heavy, nearly 40 pounds. The men cheer softly. This is what they came for. A living relic of the sea, older than most of them, strong enough to break fingers. The lobster's claws are quickly banded. It's measured and placed carefully into a tank of cold seawater. The deck smells of brine, oil, and life. They keep working trap after trap, hour after hour. Each haul brings either triumph or disappointment. Each lobster is handled with care. Fishermen know that a single broken claw or cracked shell can reduce its value by hundreds of dollars. They lift them from the tanks and place them into wooden or plastic barrels filled with circulating cold seawater, kept at just 38 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The lobsters must stay alive. That's the key to their worth. Specialized trucks wait at the dock, engines humming. Inside their metal tanks, oxygen bubbles through seawater, mimicking the environment of the deep. Within minutes, the lobsters are on their way to processing facilities spread along the Maine coast. Inside the factories, the work continues without rest. The air is cold, the floors wet, and the sound of machinery fills the space. Each lobster is weighed, graded, and inspected. Only those that meet the exact standards, size, shell color, claw integrity, are approved for sale. Some lobsters are packed alive into crates bound for luxury restaurants in New York, Paris, and Shanghai. Others are flash frozen in specialized chambers. Their meat preserved in peak condition. Every step is monitored: temperature, oxygen, even humidity, because one mistake can ruin thousands of dollars worth of product. From these facilities, Maine lobsters begin their second voyage, not through stormy seas this time, but through global trade routes. They travel across continents, becoming the centerpiece of high-end feasts and symbols of luxury. In Tokyo, they're displayed in tanks under glass lights. In Paris, they're plated beside champagne. In Shanghai, they're served at million-dollar banquets. For the fishermen back home, it's strange to imagine where their catch ends up. They spend their lives fighting waves and cold, only to see their hard work celebrated in places they may never visit. But the connection remains, from the rough hands of a lobsterman to the white-gloved waiters halfway across the world. The value of these lobsters is staggering. A single giant can sell for thousands of dollars. A full boatload up to $850. Enough to sustain an entire family for a year, to repair a boat, to keep a tradition alive for one more season. But money isn't everything. What keeps these men returning to the sea isn't just profit. It's the rhythm of the waves, the call of the horizon, and the pride that comes from mastering a world most would never dare to enter. For them, this is more than a job. It's a way of life. In Maine, lobstering is more than a profession. It's a legacy written in salt and blood. Each generation inherits not only the traps and boats of their fathers, but also the unspoken bond with the sea. To leave the harbor is to step into a history that stretches back centuries, where courage and survival are measured in tides. For many, the first time they set foot on deck isn't a choice, it's destiny. Their fathers taught them how to tie knots before they could read, how to read clouds before they could write. They grew up watching the horizon, learning to listen to the ocean's moods. It's not something you simply learn. It's something that lives in your blood. The bond between fisherman and sea is a fragile one, balanced between love and fear. The ocean provides, but it also demands. Each man who sails out knows that the sea takes what it wants and never gives it back. The memorials scattered across Maine's coastal towns tell these stories. Names carved into stone, weathered by wind and rain, serve as reminders of the price paid for every season's harvest. Lobstering has become a symbol of Maine itself. It defines not only its economy but also its identity. From small fishing villages to bustling coastal towns, everything connects back to the sea. The diners serving lobster rolls, the docks lined with traps, the markets where fresh catches gleam under the morning sun. But as the global appetite grows, the pressure on fishermen increases. Every year, demand rises from five-star hotels to global exports, from private banquets in Shanghai to cruise ships in the Caribbean. The red shell of a Maine lobster has become a mark of prestige, a symbol of luxury on every continent, and with that fame comes a cost. To meet international demand, fishermen must work longer hours, drop more traps, and brave harsher conditions. The seafloor becomes crowded with lines and cages, and the balance between human hunger and natural rhythm begins to tilt. Maine's government has responded with some of the strictest fishing laws in the world. Traps are numbered and regulated. Catching lobsters that carry eggs is forbidden. There are limits on size: too small, too large. Both must go back. It's a system built not just on survival, but on respect for the future. These rules aren't just bureaucracy. They are lessons written by loss. Every fisherman knows what happens when greed overcomes patience. The ocean can go silent, and when that happens, no one wins. Even Zool, the rhythm continues: drop, wait, pull, repeat. It's a song older than memory, a cycle of risk and reward that has sustained entire communities for generations. Every successful catch feels like a small victory. But every storm is a reminder of how fragile it all is. Inside every lobster trap lies a story not just of profit, but of survival. The same hands that pull the ropes today once belonged to their grandfathers, who face the same winds, the same waves, the same endless horizon. Nothing has changed, and yet everything has. Technology has made the work easier: GPS navigation, sonar tracking, automated haulers. But no invention can tame the sea itself. Every storm still feels ancient. Every wave still carries the same threat. The ocean remains indifferent, eternal, untamed. In the quiet hours after a day's work, when the engines go silent and the stars return, the fishermen reflect. They talk about family, about the boats that never came back. About the time a friend was taken by a rope or a wave. Their laughter is tired, their stories full of ghosts. But none of them would trade this life for another. To outsiders, the danger may seem senseless, but for those born by the sea, it makes perfect sense. The ocean offers something no other life can: freedom. It demands strength, honesty, and resilience. And in return, it gives a kind of peace that only those who face it every day can understand. As dawn approaches, another fleet prepares to sail. Their traps are stacked high, their buoys freshly painted, their hopes the same as ever. The sea waits, vast and unknowable. Some will return with fortune, others will return with stories. A few might not return at all, and still they go not because they have to, but because they were born to. It's in their hands, their lungs, their hearts. To them, the smell of salt and diesel is home. The roar of the waves is a lullaby. The ocean isn't just where they work, it's where they belong. Today, Maine lobsters are served across the world in silver platters, under chandeliers, beside bottles of champagne. But behind every delicate bite lies a story, written in frost and foam. A story of men and women who risk their lives to bring this crimson prize from the depths. Every shell cracked at a fine dining table echoes with the crash of distant waves. Every sip of wine pairs silently with the sound of engines struggling against the wind. Luxury at one end, sacrifice at the other. It is the invisible bridge between two worlds, comfort and survival. And so, the question remains, how long can this balance hold? Can the ocean continue to give as much as we take? The answer, perhaps, lies in the hands of those who still wake before dawn, who still listen to the heartbeat of the sea, and who still respect its power. The waves off the coast of Maine still rise and fall, timeless and indifferent. And every time a boat leaves the harbor, it carries more than just traps and bait. It carries faith, courage, and a legacy carved by salt and storm, because behind every giant lobster lies a story of endurance, honor, and the unbreakable will of those who dare to face the ocean's wrath